All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Golden State Warriors in today's video. Arguably one of the best teams in the entire NBA, sitting here at 5-1. They do have a more difficult road stretch here starting tonight. And I get it, their first 6 games weren't against the most difficult opponents. But at the same time, man, this Golden State Warriors team, they're first off 5-1. 3 of them have been without Steph Curry. More on that in just a second, because that's the biggest deal to me. They're third in scoring. 121 points per game. Once again, Steph Curry has missed 3 games. They're a top 3 offense. They're a top 3 defense. They're just genuinely one of the best teams in the NBA. And here's the thing. If I have a healthy Steph Curry and I have a healthy Draymond Green, the biggest issue in Golden State since the last championship has been when Steph Curry is not on the court. How do we figure out Steve Kerr's biggest issue? What rotation can I deploy on a night-to-night basis that is going to get the most out of this roster when Steph Curry is off of the court? How can we keep winning games? How can we keep maintaining our leads when Steph's off the court? And that's why you've seen blown game after blown game after blown game in the last 3 years, or 2 years, I should say. That's been completely different. Buddy Hield, B-Pop, Jonathan Kuminga, TJD, these guys are stepping up big time. And keep in mind, Andrew Wiggins missed a couple of games. Steph's missed 3 games. Andrew Wiggins is averaging almost 20 points per game. And that, if Andrew Wiggins keeps that up for the rest of the season, I know it's a really small sample size, missing a couple of games. This Warriors team it just reminds me of the last championship. It's so similar to me. The biggest concern has always been what happens if there's no Steph. They've won 3 straight without it. I think he plays tonight. Don't quote me on that, because by the time a lot of you guys watch this video, that game will already played. But hit that like button. Welcome back to Warriors Daily. We post daily Dubs content here, so hit that like button, hit that sub button if you enjoy it. If you could try and get this video to 100 likes, folks, that would mean the absolute world to me. There's a lot that can happen. It's still very early on in this season, but the turnovers, the defense, the non-Steph Curry minutes, even in the few games Steph played, it's been so impressive. And a big reason is Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield over his last 3 games, 25.3 points, 51% from the field, 51.5% from downtown, 3 straight wins, 27 points the other night against Houston in that overtime victory on the road. 6 threes in that game. He shot 9 of 14 from the field. He actually joined Steph Curry and Anthony Edwards as the only players to total 30-plus threes through the first 6 games of a season. I mean, he's been unbelievable. He really has. This Golden State Warriors team, I got the pick here. The stats are insane. Dude, they're taking 42.8 threes per game. That's 4th in the NBA. They are making 17.2 threes per game. That's 3rd in the NBA. They're making 40.1% of those 3-point attempts, which is also 3rd in the NBA. Seriously, go on a stat thing. I wish I could show you a graphic here. They're top 5, max top 7, top 8 in every single offensive statistic. And if you keep that up, I mean, the sky's truly the limit. This road trip, once again, is going to tell us a lot about this team. Outside of Washington tonight, you got Boston, you got Cleveland, you got OKC. Those are 3 championship caliber teams. So we're going to learn a lot more about this team. And once again, I assume Steph will be back for all 3 of those basketball games. The free throws, my only concern, I think Steve Kerr's just trying to figure out these rotations. I think especially in a game like Houston where they love to play fast, I think a lot of these guys were just gassed out. And that's why you saw Jonathan Kuminga put up 6 points in overtime. Houston only had 2. The only player in the league to triple his opponent's score in an overtime period in the last 2 seasons. That's Mr. Jonathan Kuminga. We'll talk about him in just a second. But they took 50 free throws. They only made 32 of them, 64% clip. The Rockets shouldn't have even been able to let the Rockets get back into that game. They could not make free throws, but they got to the free throw line 50 times, or they took 50 free throw attempts. That's huge. That's something we have not seen in a very long time with this Golden State Warriors team. Speaking of it, Jonathan Kuminga, 26 minutes. He's been on the bench in the last 3 games. Steve Kerr still trying to figure out these rotations, but the big thing was, Steph missed the last 3 games. So he changed up the rotations, put Jonathan Kuminga on the bench, and he's actually been phenomenal. Against Houston on, what was that, Saturday night, 23 points, 6 rebounds and assists. He shot 7 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 from downtown. Once again, only 26 minutes. 23 points. But my favorite thing that I saw from Jonathan Kuminga was his aggressiveness in that game. He got to the free throw line, took 10 attempts, made only 7 of them, 70% clip, but just his tenacity and just his aggressiveness in that game specifically, I really enjoyed it because Jonathan, whether he start coming off of the bench, we all know this kid has superstar talent. We know he has superstar potential. I don't think he's going to be on the bench too long. I assume once Steph Curry is back healthy, he will be back inserted into that starting lineup. But he's been huge in the last 3 games. One player as well who's been huge that no one's really been talking about or giving him his proper flowers is B-Pot. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 5 of 11 from the field, 0 of 3 from downtown. He fouled out early on in overtime. Only 3 turnovers. B-Pod's one of those kids, I gotta watch him play. He's been huge, man. Being the point guard for this team with those Steph Curry in the last 3 games, he's been absolutely huge. We didn't see too many starters. TJD only ripped 12 minutes. Moses Moody got the start on Saturday. He only played 16 minutes. Really liking Moses' efficiency. He scored 9 points in 16 minutes the other night against Houston, 2 of 2 from downtown. Moses has been really efficient this season, and I'm glad. I think he's playing about 18 minutes per game so far this season. I'm really glad Steve Kerr's giving him some type of consistent role. But to me, the biggest thing is just the energy of this team. Draymond Green, we've been talking about it through training camp. He went out there, hopped on the mic and said, I kind of took a backseat from, this team and my teammates. It was very selfish of me. I kind of took a backseat after that Jordan Poole situation. He's so invested this year. This team is just so invested. The energy is there. But Draymond Green, so many people wanted the Golden State Warriors to go out there and get another star, right? They're thinking, all right, let's go get there. Let's look into Jimmy Butler, Lauri Markkanen, Paul George, whatever it is. Steph Curry needs a star behind him or besides him. The thing is, Draymond Green is a star. He's a star to me. I don't know how many championship Golden State wins in this dynasty era without Draymond Green. He's so vital. He's so critical to it. And as long as he's not getting teed up every other basketball game, and he's out there on the court, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 5 blocks the other night. Draymond Green is the cog that keeps this team running. And I just think, energy-wise, whether you're watching him off court or on court, his energy is there. His focus is there. This team looks so focused, but most importantly, they're having fun doing it. And that's why the Golden State Warriors are currently 5-1. Huge week here. We're about to learn a lot about this young team. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Dubs content. Give me your thoughts on this Golden State Warriors team through the first 6 or so games down below. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Peace.